What's happening, everybody? Here we go, another episode of Too Much Fantasy Football. It's Brian and Brennen here, diving into Week 8. We've got the Thursday night preview ahead of us. How you doing today, man?
You know, it's a dude's day. It's a dude's day and everyone's panicking.
I mean, right? They should. It's bipocalypse time. We're all sweating with some of these lineups. I've got some bad running backs in my starting lineup this week. It's pretty ugly, man.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I was really banking on Bam Knight being my RB2 in a couple of my leagues, and now I'm like, I had to go pick up Neal from the Saints as my starting running back. I was like, that's gonna be my RB2 this week. So
Yeah, I was staring at him at the top of a lot of pickup lists as far as waivers for running backs. I'm like, no, I have not gotten that bad where I have to go pick up Devin Neal right now. But no, look, it might happen. But yeah, we're going to go through this Thursday night football game. We'll talk a few injuries, some trade rumors, fill up a few spots. I mean, everybody's looking to trade, whether it be the NFL or fantasy football. It's bipocalypse time, folks. We're getting ready for it. Let's dive into this first one, though. This should be a good one. I know Thursday out, but hopefully not this one. We got the 3-3 Vikings taking on the 4-3 Chargers. They're playing in LA. Minnesota is 3.5-point dogs in this one. 44.5-point over under. Pretty excited. Hopefully it's not a defensive game.
I mean, it's a better Thursday night matchup. Had it been like a full strength, with Amari and Hampton would have been really cool. With the Vikings having a competent quarterback would have been
Sam
really
Darnold
cool.
being there,
Yeah, anything. But no, it should be a good one though. I think it's gonna be better than what people expect. Carson Wentz is starting, no JJ again, so I still have more confidence with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jordan Mason. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to play, right? I know he's been activated from the IR, but I don't think he's going to play this week.
Yeah, it looked like him and JJ McCarthy were questionable because of the short week. It looked like they're trying to kind of tease that out a little bit. Maybe next week is when we might see him. So Jordan Mason might be his last game that he gets to fully the run of the offense. But I guess on the other side, obviously we're not looking at Wentz to start, but Justin Herbert, you willing to put him out there?
Yeah, it's bye week Armageddon, like you said. You probably are hurting in that aspect for some quarterbacks. He's probably going to be closer to a top 12 finish than most people realize. So,
yeah, with what you're working here, like I've got Joe Flacco in my top 10 right now because it's that's where we're at. Granted, it's a good matchup for him, but still, like that's the state of it. Would you be doing Justin Herbert or Jackson Dart coming off a couple of top QB3 finishes, playing Philly in the rematch?
I think only in Herbert. I think with them still not having a solid run game, Kamani Vidal is going to be by himself with Naheem Hines in that backfield. I'm leaning towards Justin Herbert starting.
I think so too. Folks, we warned you about this 3-pack of games for Jackson Dart, but I'm finally at the point where I'm not going to tell you, hey, stay away from him. If you want to play him, if you want to follow it up, I like it, but it should be. It's supposed to be like. Come on, man. He's got no receivers to throw to. He had to elevate 2 tight ends as far as top plays. Like, it shouldn't go well this week.
Hey, as someone who's going to have to start Slayton because a lot of wide receivers are on bye for me, I'm okay with it.
Looking at the running backs, Jordan Mason, he's going to get the start. Like we said, Aaron Jones won't be there, so he'll be playing for you. Kamani Vidal, where are we at with this one? He's good game, bad game.
I think a decent game. I think like he should be RB2, but that's not saying much with how many teams are on by 6, right?
6 teams on by. Yeah, we're looking at Cardinals, Jags, Lions, Rams, Raiders, and Seahawks. It's a lot of fantasy players right there.
Yeah, so with like Gibbs gone, Genty's gone, like you're really hurting in that aspect. So you have no choice but to start Kamani Vidal unless you have just depth at RB. I'm jealous.
Right.
Yeah.
That 10-team leaguer that drafted perfectly. Yeah, quit bragging, everybody. We see you in the chat.
Yeah.
As far as wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison's been showing out. So I know that stat that's floating around that he's outscored Justin Jefferson in 6 of the last 11 games they played together. Justin Jefferson's still great, but I think this is more of just a compliment to how well Addison's been playing. Definitely taking a step forward in year 3 for him this year?
This is 2021 was he drafted? He was drafted with JSN. So
year 3.
Yeah.
Playing both of those. How are we dissecting those other 3 there? We got Ladd McConkey on the other side, Keenan Allen, QJ, fearlessly playing them all.
I am Yeah, you're starting all of them. I mean, you have no choice really. I look at him as I kind of rank him in that same scenario. I'd rather have. I think the Vikings don't do well against the slot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think they
that's
do
where you
well on
can
the
tear them
outside.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess so QJ or I mean Keenan and Ladd feel like the safer two plays for me. QJ's where questions pop up, uh, but maybe not. I
He's
guess
been
let's go
consistent.
QJ or Diggs.
I'll go Diggs.
QJ or DJ Moore against Baltimore.
I go QJ.
I think so too. Last one here, Romeo Dobbs.
QJ.
Yeah, it feels like a very boom bust there with what you're picking out of that one.
Yes.
Romeo Dobbs may give you a floor, but they're playing Pittsburgh this week, and who knows what defense is going to show up for Pittsburgh. It's been hot and cold for them, and then the tight end man, the new hotness coming out of nowhere, not really nowhere, but Rondé Gadsden, two great performances from him last week. T.J. Hawkinson just fell short of catching that touchdown, so his day. I mean, he really hasn't been great at all this year, but honestly, one playable week is all he's had. He had a tight end 5 finish, but outside of that, it's been 33, 43, 22, 21, 19.
Yeah. He was an average fab in my redraft leagues of $25 or more. Yeah. So that's great. Good for you to spend that much. I didn't think he's worth that. I mean, unless you're really hurting a tight end, like I had Darren Waller and I was starting in a couple leagues, and
Same.
now I wouldn't go picked up like Theo Johnson. I'd rather have Gadsden, but I'm not going to drop. I was going to drop $26 a fab on him.
Yeah, luckily I was able to pick him up for change in a few leagues, and others. I had a guillotine league. He went for way more than he should have. So Gadsden, you'd be playing over Hawkinson. Does
Yes.
Gadsden, you playing him over Kyle Pitts,
Yes.
over Mason Taylor with Tyrod? Well, possibly. Tyrod popped up on the injury report this week with a
Yeah,
knee
I still
injury.
think it's Tyrod. I my everything for me is Tyrod. I'm gonna
Right.
say yes. It's just a really shitty situation for the Jets.
They'll put Tyrod in a bracelet. I don't care, man. Go out there and play on one leg. It's still better.
Seriously.
Mark Andrews coming out of the bye. And folks, if you didn't hear, they got their ping pong table taken away. So like they're business now. They're focused. They're locked in.
Lamar might not play this week, by the way.
I know. That's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. If he doesn't play, I'm gonna say Gadsden.
And then Gadsden, I mean, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Harold Fannin. He's getting the start over those guys.
Hunter. Yeah, probably over the. He just has more of a boom, and that's what I'm looking at a tight end. If all these guys were all like, if they weren't the McBrides, the Bowers, the Warrens,
Yeah.
that area where I drafted, yeah, I'd rather go for like the high upside play.
Yeah, you're shooting for you're either go for the athletic yak guys or the touchdown guys. Do you want the
Exactly.
Hunter Henry or the Zach Ertz, or do you want the Gadsden? I'm going to say Chigakonko because I can't think of another athletic tight end, but he's not even in the conversation of those guys.
No.
Nice. Who do you have winning this game?
Everything in me was gonna say Chargers. Like, I want to say the Vikings, man. I just think the Chargers are in a really bad spot right now, and Joe Alt's questionable. If Joe Alt plays, I will kind of lean towards the Chargers. He does help that line out tremendously.
100%.
And they're at home, so I will lean the Chargers. If Joe Alt plays, I'll say Chargers. If Joe Alt doesn't play again, I think the Vikings will have a field day.
I think so. And 3.5 points. I like the Vikings to at least cover that. I think they're going to keep it close. Chargers have not been the same team they're 1-3 in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's not good. They've been hit with the injury bug.
Yeah, between the offensive line and the running backs, it's absolutely decimated them. Nice. Let's talk some of these waiver pickups, some of these kind of plug and play guys. We talked about Tyrod possibly playing in. I don't necessarily think I'm leaning him in any of my matchups, but Marcus Mariota filling in for Jaden Daniels. We've seen him be 80%, 70% of Jaden Daniels. So I really have no fear putting him in my lineup.
No, because he's been perfect as a backup. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. He might win you games, but he's also not going to win every single game, and he just puts up a decent amount of points. So I'm okay with Marcus Mariota. I think he'll be closer to a top 15 finish.
Yeah, they get a pretty rough matchup in KC this week. Willing to put him out there. But after that, Seattle, Detroit, Miami, all plus matchups for him. So Jaden Daniels, I imagine we're going to miss him for a few more weeks. And if that's not just horrible, like this is now the second time he's left the season. It's not been great. Let's talk some of these running backs here. Some of the pickups as far as like the Kyle Manung guys, the Brashard Smiths, Devin Neals. Are these? I mean, obviously, break glass. If you absolutely need to plug and play, you're going to have to put them in there. But are these still bench fodder for you as far as you're looking at these fellas?
Yes. If Kyle Monangai, obviously everyone's hoping that, that it's maybe a 50-50 split backfield. I don't really see it that way. I still think Swift has the hold of that. Brashard Smith has more upside to me. Because honestly, it's like, it's Pacheco, it's Hunt, and it hasn't been really anybody, but Brashard Smith has a little more. We're all kind of waiting for him to be the McKinnon. We're really when's that game coming? And then when's that breakout? And he hasn't. He was RB20 last week, but again, we like we said in the last episode, that's not saying a whole lot because he had 14 rushing attempts for looks like 39 yards, and he had 5 catches for 42 yards. So maybe this is the game where it's like, all right, Brashard Smith is more of the third down back, and he's more in on like 40% of the snaps, and he gets more of the production.
Yeah, the nice thing is we are seeing snaps come down for the other guys. Like Kareem Hunt, only 19% of snaps this past week. He was sitting right around the 40% mark, and it's slowly going down 44, 33, 30, 19. So hopefully, as long as he's not stealing the goal line work or maybe exclusively going out there for that, we might have that door open a bit. But at the same time, Rashee Rice is back. Xavier Worthy's healthy. Hollywood Brown is out there as an auxiliary. You got Juju there to help out. There's just so many mouths to feed that you're putting them out there. I feel like at best confidence is an RB3, and you're just hoping for a splash play.
You're hoping for a touchdown. You're really just hoping for a touchdown.
Let's look at some of these wide receivers. Guys like Romeo Doubs were common pickups. Khalil Shakir is a waiver wire guy now. Tez Johnson, Alex Pierce, Kayshon Boutte. Of those guys, where would you put like your top 3 of those fellows?
Kayshon Boutte's probably one, just with the bigger upside. He's had the more boom weeks than obviously he's had busts, but like out of those guys, like Alec Pierce is like the home run threat where it's like the 40-yard bomb. He gets a couple of those a game, so you might get saved with a couple of those. You said, who else did you say after that?
Tez Johnson, Romeo Doubs, Shakir.
Tez Johnson actually should be up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Especially with the injuries. Mike Evans now is done for the year. I know there's like, oh, he might be back week 14. Like, that's really hopeful, man. That's genuinely hopeful talk. I don't know if he will.
That's in the playoffs.
That's playoffs too. Exactly. So I'd say like he's up there a little bit more than others.
Yeah, Tez Johnson kind of I wouldn't say ran away, but he definitely solidified himself along with Ibuka as the other wide receiver that I want to start. I think if you break it down past that, I think it's Kate Otten for me before I want to start, clipping at the heels at the other Johnson and Sterling Shepard.
I'm going to say another name because it's a new quarterback that's going to start this week, and he just had a really good week. Xavier Legette.
Oh, boy. Oh, are we there?
It's a new quarterback. I'm just saying it's a new quarterback. Andy Dalton, he's, we called him the Red Rifle back in the heyday. He's not afraid to sling it.
Him, just because of his hair.
Yeah, I know. I'm okay with a pickup with Xavier. If you are down bad, and you're hoping for just something fresh, I would say Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, just because we just don't know what Andy Dalton's going to do. We really don't know what he's going to, who his favorite target's going to be, where he's going to look. So that's
typically when these backups come into, we see that why they're a backup within a few games, but usually that first or second game they can get away with a little bit of magic.
Razzle-dazzle.
Yeah. I imagine he's going to win. I mean, probably not this week. They're playing the Bills, but they play Green Bay next week.
Yeah.
So I think you can have worse shots than Xavier Legette. It's scary. He had 11 targets though last week, 9 catches, 92 yards, a touchdown. This game, the over-under is pretty high, so I don't mind kind of leaning into that. I don't know if we really talked about this on Monday, but Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard.
It is legitimately a 50-50 split. It is they and the head coach is dying on that hill. It's a 50-50 split. Did you know that Rico Dowdle is third in rushing yards this year off of just 2 games, basically?
Wow. Yeah,
It
because
goes
before that,
it goes JT, Javonte Williams, and then Rico.
that's wild. Yeah, first 4 weeks, 12 yards, 9 yards, 30 yards, 32 yards. So it's on the back of essentially the last 3 weeks. Those two that are really standing out. I get him. He's in a hard spot. You can't not play Dowdle, but I get what the loyalty you have to Chuba as far as the money and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting.
You could kind of trade him. I mean, it'd be nice to have a dual back, but you also Jonathan Brooks. Like, you did take him in the second round. Like, you gave Chuba's on a really friendly deal, so maybe I could see why Carolina's GM's kind of like, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm any team that really needs a running back. Like, he's on a really cheap deal. He's still somewhat decent. Like, if Chuba went to the Chiefs, I know we talk about Breece Hall going there, but if Chuba went to the Chiefs, oh my God.
He would produce 80-90% of what Breece Hall would do, I think, in that backfield.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. I hope we get some trades here. Trade deadlines coming up for the NFL teams. I'm really hoping
next week, right? Next Wednesday at like 4:00 Eastern is the deadline.
Yeah, I believe so. So about a week left. Some of those injuries might be popping up this week. As far as hey, we're gonna hold him out because his ass is sore or his elbow is funky or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I would tell you guys is that hold on to the guys that are that are legitimately might be traded. Like Jack Besh, I would go and pick him up because Jacoby Myers might get traded. Isaiah Davis will be the lead back if Breece Hall's gone. If he's not picked up, and then if you have an extra bench spot, like drop him after week 8 because at that point, if he's not traded, then oh well, you took a swing though. It's like Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears is already probably picked up, but just guys that like are that are kind of on that bubble, I would go and pick up their backups. Because then I have the starter.
Yeah, we're not dropping valuable pieces here, but every team's different. I haven't been plagued by a lot of injuries in some of my leagues, so I'm able to kind of backfill. Like Jacoby Myers hit the waiver wire this past week. So do I plan on playing him? Absolutely not. But did I pick him up just in case? Sure did. Because, again, I don't even know if I want to play him no matter where he goes. But the hype, the excitement that everybody feels after that trade happens, trade him away. Trade him away.
Kobe goes to the Bills. I'd be looking to trade him away so quickly.
Yes. Yeah, we saw it last year. We saw how it worked last year. God, I hope not. Them just adding another slot receiver to that mix. Like, let's be honest. Keon Coleman needs to be playing out of the slot. He's just a giant slot guy, I think.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to be buyers because I think they feel the Patriots starting to breathe down their neck a little bit. I'm very curious to see what teams actually make moves.
Yeah, because we have several teams that kind of are coming out of nowhere. The Colts. No one would have called them buyers in the summer during the preseason. But right now, they could probably go for a few pieces right now. But
all defense.
Yeah, all defense. Yeah. When you've got Jonathan Taylor on offense, honestly, you can trade away some of that offense. We don't need him. We've got him. That's all we need.
Exactly.
Nice. I guess I'm trying to think of any other injuries. You're talking about Ricky Pearsall. Doesn't look like he will be playing yet again.
It would be pretty cool, if the San Francisco 49ers heard of this thing called the IR.
Well, half their team's on the IR. I don't know if they've got any IR spots left.
Yeah, I don't think Ricky's going to play. That's just super annoying too. I can go through guys that didn't practice today, but again, it's Wednesday, so it's a dude's day. AJ Brown didn't practice. Kincaid was limited. DeAndre Swift didn't practice. DJ Moore didn't practice. Brock Purdy was limited. Ricky Pearsall we just talked about. Josh Downs was limited. Michael Penix was also limited. Hassan Haskins is also out. We already talked about that. Bryce Young for sure is not practicing. And let me see. Anybody else here? Breece Hall, but he's limited. It's a knee thing, which I'm sure that's more of a trade thing.
Yeah.
Chris Olave didn't practice, but they already said he's going to be good to go for Sunday. And that's all Baker Mayfield was also limited. That's also because he was just running around for his life on Monday.
And they can't afford to lose him. Everybody else is out, so Baker might be in a bubble up until Sunday morning at kickoff.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs limited again with a calf, and Jerry Jeudy didn't practice. So there you go.
That's something I want to keep an eye on. Emmanuel Wilson definitely needs to be picked up in most leagues, especially if you own Josh Jacobs. These calf injuries they've been funky over the last few years for running backs, so it's just something I really want to keep an eye on.
I have Marshawn Lloyd in all the leagues. I have Josh Jacobs, and I'm just like, God damn it, dude! I've been holding him forever because I haven't had a need to do anything else with it because I know when he's activated, he is for sure the backup. It's not Emmanuel Wilson, so it's just so annoying that it's like of course, when he's getting injured, he's not going to be activated anytime soon. So
Yeah, I mean, hell, same thing with Trey Benson. Everybody was waiting for that inevitable injury for James
all those
Conner, and then
dynasty owners that took him in like the late first, like just like finally, and then get injured after one game. And I honestly, I think Bam Knight holds that job. By the way,
don't say that.
I'm being serious. Like, what has Bam Knight done to lose the job?
He's just, it's meh.
He's a name you don't like to hear because it's not Trey Benson, but Bam Knight, I think, is going to hold that job even when Trey Benson gets back.
Yeah, I imagine that there's going to be some sort of split. It's not going to be just Trey Benson looking like James Conner out there. It's going to be some sort of 30, 70-30, 60-40, something like that.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, we did have Tyler Lockett. He's done. He doesn't want to put up with the Titans bowl anymore.
Pittsburgh.
He's probably going to Pittsburgh.
Gonna go hang out with some old friends.
Yeah, and they are literally old and friends.
Yes,
Rodgers and DK. I like this Titans offense. I mean, you talk about Pollard possibly being traded. Yeah, you want to own Spears because he would be a starting running back, but I don't want anything on this team like Ayo Manor. It's by apocalypse, and I don't want to play him. Like, this team scored 6 offensive touchdowns through 7 games.
This team's a mess. This team is genuinely a mess, and like I know Cam Ward is struggling. The play calling isn't there. You know, they've invested heavily in the offensive line in the drafts because they went Skoronski and then they went J.C. Latham, and it hasn't really panned out and it hasn't fixed everything. And you know, they spent money on L'Jarius Sneed, and that he's not even that great of a quarterback. It's just they need a full reset, and that's just what sucks is that that's what they're looking at. And they should sell some really key pieces and build through the draft again and keep going.
And it's not that it's hard to do it because he is on a rookie contract, but it's hard to do with the number 1 overall rookie quarterback. The fact that your team's not going to be decent until he's going into his 3rd, maybe 4th year, like that's unfortunate. You know, it almost just feels like a waste right off the bat. Just Cam Ward has no chance to really develop.
Because then you have to pay him. Like, this is like what the Texans are dealing with. The Texans now next year are going to be spending all this draft capital on offensive linemen. And if they don't, that's just dumb as all could be.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to pay CJ Stroud. And I don't know what his current value is. He's probably looking at somewhere like Brock Purdy money.
They're going to have to pay him as a top 5, top 7 guy, just because that's how it works when you pay him.
Yep.
And same thing. You look at Carolina with Bryce Young. Same boat, like literally the same boat as Cam Ward.
I genuinely don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know if they'll pick up his 5th-year option.
But that means next year's his last year.
I think they're kind of okay with that. I think you got to sit there and just die on that hill. It was a terrible trade, and you thought it'd work out. And, you know, 5'10", under 200-pound quarterback is just not going to be a thing in the NFL.
And he's going to hit free agency, go back up somewhere, and one of those good coaches will turn him into something, and Carolina will just pull their hair out.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of like, I don't view Bryce Young in the same limelight as like Tua, but like it's almost there.
That's what we said about Sam Darnold, and you know, after he got out of Carolina, it looked a lot better.
You tell me. So if Bryce Young went to the Vikings, do you think he'd have major success?
Well, they got a lot of snow out there, so if he stood on a snow mound, he actually might be tall enough to see over the line, and maybe that might do the trick.
Okay, if he went to Sean McVay.
Oh, there's no snow out. Hey, Sean flipped Baker. No, Baker was a lot more talented than Bryce Young, and we saw it. You know, maybe not all the time, but we got glimpses of it. No, it's unfortunate. You know, we're seeing these quarterbacks. Maybe they could have been something had they go into a position, you know, set up for more success, a more competent coach, what have you. But it's God. I as a Colts fan, as an AFC South team, you know, fan in that division, I love that the Texans are going to be in that pickle. I love that the Titans don't know what they're going to do. I love that the Jags are kind of tripping over themselves right now.
I hate that we're in year 5 and we still don't know if Trevor Lawrence is good.
I think I'm letting go of that pipe dream of like thinking that he could be like an elite top end guy. I think at most he, you know, above like an Eli Manning. You know, I think he could get to that point where he's
more
above
athletic
average.
Eli Manning?
Yeah.
Okay.
He closes his mouth when he breathes, but like outside of that, they're very
I have no words.
Yeah, I don't know. I've said, like, Jags are in our division, so we're not supposed to like them, but it's like that little kid on the playground. You don't want to pick on him because he's so small. Like, he's already too pitiful enough. Like, you just feel bad, and, like, I wish that franchise could have a little hope, and no, they're stuck with Lawrence for at least a couple more years.
Yeah, for sure, at least 3, if I had to imagine, with the contract.
That's unfortunate. Any of these other games you want to touch on? Any players before we get out of here?
Any other players? No, there's not anything other games that like really stand out to me that I'm like, oh, this is where I'm like trying to have, all my eggs in the basket. No, nothing like that.
Yeah, with 8 teams on bye, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 1:00 games, and only 3. I hate that. 7 and 3. I hate the split. Like, give me a 6 and 4. Why can't you do 6 and 4?
Because they hate you.
They do. They do. I literally got the letter in the mail from Goodell earlier. He says, "Hey, Brian, you're doing great this year. By the way, we hate you." I was like, all right, it's fine. My team's doing well.
I co-signed on it.
Of course you did. Somebody's just bitter about Javonte Williams here. Yeah, still got the sticky note.
Dude, I can't believe he's number 2 in rushing yards. I genuinely, if you had told me that at the beginning of the year, I would have said, what crack pipe did you hit?
I'm pretty sure you did say that to me
I probably
mock
did.
drafts.
No, yeah, for sure.
Oh man, awesome. Well, folks, we can't thank you enough for being here. Thanks for, if you're here on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're on the podcast, give us a review. Appreciate y'all listening. We're gonna get out of here though. Get ready. Start sit. This episode comes out tomorrow. We're gonna be going through all of the games. It's at @too_much_Brian if you're looking for me. At @too_much_BMolk if you're looking for him. Get ready. Another great gambling week. I bet we do it well this week too.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Juices, guys.
See y'all later. Thanks for listening.